Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Tracy Show. I am so glad I got to do 4 weeks in a row of interviews. Before we get started, I definitely got some bills to pay today. Let's get these bills paid. First, hit that subscribe button, hit it, smash it, obliterate it, destroy it. We are at 424, which means we are 76 subscribers away from our goal of 500. So please make sure you hit that subscribe button and support the page. Speaking of support, you can always hit me up on Patreon for $2 a month for support. That $2 a month helps me to get better lighting, to finally get a desk, because I'm kind of tired of doing this in my bedroom. I want a professional desk with a microphone and not to be holding one in my hand. And finally, a passion project of mine is to contribute to the First Baptist Church North Drama Camp, taking place now with a new date of July the 11th, 2026 through September the 6th. 2026, and we are trying to raise $3,500 to help us to pay for inner city youth to go to our drama camp. I am going to let my guest introduce himself.
Thank you. How you doing? My name is Marshall Travis. I'm running for Indiana State House District 48 as an independent third-party candidate.
You can see you. Is that a picture you have of yourself?
Where? Me? No, I'm
Yes.
camera on right now.
For some reason I can't see you moving. I can hear your voice just fine, but I can't see. Wipe your hand. Just make sure my camera's not doing something weird.
You can't see it?
I can see you, but it's like you're just stuck. I don't know. So, let's see. I'm not going to refresh this because that's going to take me completely out, but I can hear you just perfectly fine. So, let's start off with what office are you running for?
Indiana State House of Representatives.
Okay, so we just had our primaries May the 5th. So will you be on the ballot?
No, so I'm running independent third party. I have until June 30th to turn in my signatures to get on the ballot. But it would only be for District 48 Northern Indiana, like Elkhart, Bristol, that area.
Okay, so now I can see you. Okay, so how many signatures do you have to have?
307, but they've been making sure that I have a hard time.
Yeah, I understand. And how many do you have right now?
I just got a current update. I am 71 away, so I have about 236.
Okay, so you're pretty close. Okay. I thought for some reason you were running. Are you running under the Green Party?
Yes. Yes, so I'm independent. I am caucusing with the Green Party. I would be the Green Party's nominee.
Caucusing, that's what it was. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so you're running for that office, and which count? I keep having to have you repeat things, but I just want to make sure I'm getting a full understanding. Which county is it? Which district is it that you're running in?
It would be District 48, which is Elkhart County.
Okay, so Elkhart would include South Bend.
No, it's so Mishawaka and Osceola is the exact line. So it would be Osceola, Elkhart, and Bristol.
That's it. I see. My problem is I live in Indianapolis, so it's hard for
Oh,
me
it's
to think
okay.
of the other counties. I'm like, what county is that? Okay, so now let me get to the serious questions. So, why run for the office that you're running for?
Um, so mostly, originally, I'm from California. And I had some troubles out back west. Me and my fiance had a baby, moved out here, and just going across the states, I've seen that no matter which party is in office, the same problems seem to be there: the homelessness, the addiction, the education struggles, the healthcare struggles. Seems to be regardless of which party is leading which state, because they're in every state. So when I see that and see that where I'm at now with my 7-year-old daughter and my newborn daughter, from she was born about 2 months ago, roughly, seeing that their future is getting stripped away and nothing's being done to fix it. You know what they say: if you want something done, you got to do it yourself.
Exactly. So, what made you run as an independent instead of, and I know you said you're caucusing with the Green Party,
Yeah.
but what made you steer away from running as a Green Party candidate?
I don't want to be tied to any official party. I do share most values with the Green Party, but even in there, there's disagreements. Not to like, I don't want to associate with them extent, but still disagreements. So I feel like if I maintain independence, it's easier for me to explain what my differences are when the situations come up, instead of being painted under a blanket umbrella, which seems to be causing most of the problems.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Um, what has been, no, I'll save that question for later. What is, hmm, I just had this question right on the tip of my tongue. What are your top three issues that you're
Home
running on?
Homelessness, addiction, and childcare.
Okay. And plat what is your plans to address each of those?
Um, if you let me get my laptop real fast, I can give more detail. But essentially, with like the housing, it would be with working more towards like nonprofit organizations or humanitarian organizations, opposed to the private equity firms. When it comes to addiction, it's about getting actual adequate resources, um, giving better options and better even accountability for those in the situation, creating a better pathway to get them into housing, get them into some type of stable job work, um, in a more in-depth way. Most of the time they think, or the states seem to think, if you put them in a rehab facility or give them some type of special program, it's like a paint all for everyone, and it's really not. So they would have to be addressed on case by case basis. What caused them to go into addiction? What is their usage of choice? Things like that. They all have to be approached differently. So my programs would be about breaking down the differences of the causes, the usages, the pathways to recovery, things like that.
So, I'm gonna take each of those separately and and not to be a Debbie Downer because I agree with all three of those. Here, well, no, I'll ask it like this. I will ask it like this. So, our governor is an idiot.
Yes.
He just is. There's no nice way for me to say it. There's no kind way for me to say it. I don't know who's worse, him or Beckwith. I just don't, it's like a competition of who can race to the bottom between those two, and it's like they flip coins every day. How do you propose, especially in the state of Indiana, especially with the majority of legislators being Republican? And the Democrats kind of sit out like, oh, well, we'll just do nothing. How do you propose working? Well, are you looking to work with them, against them, or bringing them over to your side?
I'll work with anyone as long as our goal is the same, and making sure that Hoosiers have affordable, adequate housing, making sure that they can afford childcare, making sure that those who are suffering from addiction have an actual pathway to permanent recovery and not just a temporary band-aid. If they're willing to achieve those goals, I'm willing to work with anyone, but I will not use and abuse those situations to funnel funds into corporate pockets. That's where I'm drawing the line.
Yeah, and that's when you said addiction, I'm thinking of the treatment centers because they seem to just be popping up everywhere and they're privately ran, so they have that for-profit model.
Right.
Are you talking about creating a new type of treatment center? Like, for example, opening up what I would call Old Central State? Because Central State, if you don't know, Central State was a kind of a treatment center in Indianapolis that was government supported. And then when Reagan made his cuts, they ended up closing down.
That would definitely be an option for the more severe cases. But generally, my focus would be on one of the main causes statistically would be separation of families lead to causing of addictions. They feel lonely, they feel hopeless, they feel like they have no one around. So I would work on family reunification. I would work on again the addressing the housing crisis. If you can get them into housing, that's another incentivizer for them to turn away from the narcotics they were using. Outpatient resources can be more effective than actual inpatient facilities.
Okay, so my next question would be this. So, in terms of the outpatient treatment, those things are not free. And Indiana
Right.
is sitting on I don't know the number, I believe it's a $4 billion surplus.
Right.
Would you legislate using those funds, or are you talking about creating a new tax to tap into those funds?
No, we could using the surplus to an extent would be optimal. Obviously, you don't want to use all of it. You want to save some for a cushion in case more emergencies pop up. But tapping into that as well as n- uh, when it comes to Indiana, first off, Indiana doesn't have any billionaires, so uh, we don't have to worry about billionaires wanting to get up and leaving. But our top 1% within the state, the minimum is valued at about $965,000. So if we were to, and I know this is going to get a lot of pushback, but hopefully the math can back it up to get people a little more on board, especially with how many common average Hoosiers are suffering and need the help. The top 1% in the state, if we did a 1.25% wealth tax on them, just 1.25% on anything over 965,000, over that bottom limit, that would bring us about 1.5 to 2.2 trillion dollars, depending on how the numbers get ran. That could also work to get the programs to get the utility pricing down, to upgrade our schooling, to address our housing, to address the addiction. I wouldn't, and also I would be able to lower the income tax, which is already relatively low compared to federal, but I would be able to lower that by about 0.3 to 0.5%, which isn't a lot, but it's a stepping stone to getting more back to the people and redistributing the wealth in a more even fashion.
Yeah, so I just did the calculation. So if you made $960,000 in a year and you were taxed 1%, that's $9,600. So people, how many total people are at that level?
So that's the bottom number. Let me pull it up because I had it before. Where was it? Mm, oh shoot! It erased it for me. Hold on, I'll pull it up for you. I do
I know,
know when you factor in everyone above that, and it would be everything made over that 950,000. So it's not even really coming from that bottom person. It's coming from the people more so above them that continue to make over that amount throughout the year. That would bring us the 1.3 to 1.5 million or billion. Hold on, I'm
and
pulling it up. I ran
that's
these numbers.
annual.
I ran these numbers about last year, so it may be a little different by today's standards.
Okay, because what I'm getting at is, and you didn't say it, and I thank you for not saying it, was that you were going to impose like a gas tax or what they're doing in Indianapolis, an excise tax or something like that. I'm like, oh, please don't tax the people because we're barely scraping by. So
Oh
it's
no,
good to hear
I don't
that
plan
you're
on
taking
taxing
the
average
time.
Hoosiers. I plan on actually lowering their taxes if I can.
Uh, that is good. So, um, what kind of what kind of structure does your campaign have right now? Do you have a campaign manager? Is it just you and a couple of friends? What's the structure of the campaign?
Right now, it's literally me and the Northern Indiana Green Party leader from Valparaiso, which is about an hour 15 away. We're the only ones that have been out getting signatures. A lot of people I know, they either don't have time or they've lost faith within the political system, so they don't really want to get involved, and that's making it really challenging for me as well. My main focus right now is getting on the ballot. And once I can get on
And
the
that,
ballot, I'll be able to do so much more.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's we're at a really we're at such a critical time in Indiana, um, that it's kind of hard to keep the faith. Um, we had the redistricting thing going on where Braun wanted to redraw the maps, and we just have a lot going on. And here comes my question. So you said the deadline for signatures is when?
June 30th. So this weekend, I'm going to be out all weekend hitting the neighborhoods that I can.
Okay. And you say if you're only what you said 71?
71, but they have to be registered voters. And this is a very, very red area, libertarian area. And the libertarian crowd isn't big on government activities.
Ah, that's what it was. I wasn't getting because I'm like, well, 364 because
I've
the
turned
reason
in
I'm
close to
thinking,
600 already.
but they threw those out. Am I correct?
Yeah, because they weren't registered voters.
Right. Because you had, and Indiana has a specific time when you can register to vote, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I was looking.
I believe it's 90 days before whichever election.
Yeah,
So,
so
like, if
they
a
would have had to,
primary comes up 90 days before the primary, you'll be good to vote in the primary. If you're within the 90s, you can't vote primary, but you can vote in the general.
right. So you would have had to hit those that registered before May.
No, no, no. When it comes to the signatures, as long as they're registered before I turn them in, then they'll count.
Okay, because I thought for some reason we had it where like you couldn't, I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking that, what was I thinking? I was thinking that if the deadline has passed for voters register, cause see, I thought like you can't register to vote today. That's what I was thinking.
No, you can't. Like I said, if you register within 90 days before, say, the primary, then you won't be able to vote in the primary, but you'll be able to vote in the general.
Right. Okay,
And
so if you
whatever
went
you
after
sign,
the
as long as you're registered, you're good.
okay, so that's what I wasn't connecting. Sorry about that. I'm like, well, wait a minute.
But I do have
Um,
the number for the tax. So it says for Indiana, the top 1% consists of 30,120 households with an average adjustment gross income of $1.4 million. That implies the total income for the top 1% is $42 billion annually. At 1.5%, that would bring in 630 million a year.
yeah, we need some, I don't want to say it, we need some billionaires in our state. Um, what about, and I'm just gonna throw this idea out there, and again, I don't get into politics in this way, but there's a big old corporation called Eli Lilly. There's another one called the Ursay family. There's another one called Allison. Have you thought about imposing a tax on those very, very large corporations that Indiana has?
That says here Eli Lilly is a pharmaceutical company.
Yes.
So with pharmaceuticals, that whole thing, I do intend on eventually getting to a place where it's more like single payer universal healthcare, where the government is negotiating with the pharmaceutical companies to lower the prices, because right now our government's not allowed to negotiate with them by
Right.
law. They're not.
No, I'm saying, yeah, I'm saying tax them because I looked at the reason I'm asking this question
Oh
is
yeah.
I want to know, well, how much did Eli Lilly make last year? And let me tell you the number because I was like, they make how much?
In 2025, it became the first pharmaceutical company to reach a market value of about $1 trillion.
Yes. So I'm like, okay, I'm with you when you're right. We need universal single payer health care. We gotta have it, we need it. But if they got $1 trillion just sitting there,
Yeah, no, that's where I
well,
would be. We either go to universal healthcare, we get these at virtually nothing, or yeah, we're taxing them at 75%.
yeah, along with the taxing, I like the combination of both because for
Yeah,
me, if you have more, you should pay more.
right.
I don't think anybody, and this is just a personal statement, I don't think anybody that makes under $50,000 has any business paying any taxes, whether that's excise, whether that's sales tax at the grocery store. I just don't. It's just something I'm completely against because it doesn't even sound like when I was a child, $50,000 sounded like a lot of money. Now I'm an adult, that's nothing. That is literally nothing. You have to make at least 75 or $80,000 a year just to stay uh, afloat. So I'm glad that you're definitely for universal health care. Why do Speaking of that, I know this isn't on my agenda to ask, what do you believe that a universal health care for Indiana plan would work? Or are you in more of the vein of, hey, let's stop concentrating on the states, let's get this at the federal level?
Well, unfortunately, even though it is widely popular across the nation, and I think 68 to 70%, I think is currently its support right now, it would have to be something that starts at the state level, because it's going to have to be a single state that shows how it can be done here in America, because everyone compares it to Canada, or they compare it to Mexico, or all these places where there's horror stories coming out of, even though the reality is they really aren't that bad. So if a state here can do it, adjust it for its population of the state, then they have an actual model to take to the federal and be like, look, this state is doing it. It's working in this way. They're not having many problems. Let's try and expand it and see if we can keep it going.
Yeah. And and Indiana was one of the states that when we got the Affordable Care Act, which I call awful care, um, we opted out of making increased Medicaid payments. And now we're to the point where Brom, our our governor, wants to make it where you can only stay on for 3 years. Like that's the lifetime that he wants. And I'm like, okay, Hoosiers, this is something you need to be paying attention to because I was on Medicaid and it helped me tremendously. I mean, it helped me so very much. And to just take that away, I don't understand why the Republicans are getting away with that.
Right. And I know not that long ago they lost $1 billion twice, and they were talking about having to shut down the FSSA, which is also a lifesaver for many people here in the state that rely heavily on the care they get from it.
Right. And I think that's what just concerns me because Indiana has Indiana has seven. million people, I think. That's what's in our state. And a large percentage of them are on Medicaid and Medicare. And the
Right.
thing is that that's going to cost the state more money because you're going to see more emergency room visits, more bills being unpaid because those hospital costs are going to spike. That means taxpayers are going to pay more. And I just wonder, I know it's because of money and politics, but I'm like, how much of a sicko fan do you have to be to say, no, healthcare isn't a right? No, just suffer. Like, what are you thinking? If
Right.
people are healthy, that means they can go to work, they can have jobs that pay a living wage, they can do all of those things, but they can't do it with the system that we have in our state.
Right. And also
And
I would be pushing to raise or to actually set, would say, a minimum wage for the state, considering we still operate on federal minimum wage.
725. You really want to get me on a rant? Guys, that's a rant. Who can make it off of $7.25?
Now, to
Oh,
be fair, a lot of these
yeah.
places aren't paying that because they know people aren't going to work for that. But outside, like Jimmy, was it Jimmy John's down the road? Is paying 8.50 an hour. Martin's, I think, was $10-11 an hour. It's like that's still too low. It needs to be, the study for the state of Indiana shows, to live a livable wage for the state of Indiana minimum is about $17 an hour.
And I would disagree with that. I think that number is too low. Uh,
Right, but it's
and
closer
that's
to reality.
it's closer to reality than the other numbers, yes.
Yeah.
I would say it should be somewhere near 25, 26, 27. And the reason I say that is because house prices, I don't know if anybody's bought a house. I bought mine 3 years ago. This property tax relief we were supposed to get through the state, we did not get it. My property taxes almost doubled, and they're going to go up again. And that's going to make my payment higher. So I'm like, I don't hear anybody saying put a cap on that. Let's look at other ways to do that. But we got promised this lower property taxes, and for me and several people, it did not happen. And I'm wondering, is your campaign once you get on the ballot, because I can't see you not making the ballot, would that be something that you'd be willing to address or no?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you were right. It says according to the MIT living wage calculator, a living wage in Indiana is just under $22 an hour. So the one I saw was an old number. It's been
Yeah,
updated to
because I
22.
was like, yeah, that 17 just did not sound right to me. I'm like, I was at 17 in my mid 40s.
So that's
I'm like, mm-mm.
for a single adult 22, for one adult, one child 41, and for two working adults, two children 29 per person, so basically $60 an hour.
Right. And let's not start talking about something else that Indiana has cut: childcare.
Yes.
There are no more childcare vouchers for Indiana. And when you start talking about treating addiction, that's a huge barrier
Yes.
in terms of that. And I wonder, what is your approach towards that?
Let me pull up my childcare one, because that was one of the things
Well,
that
let
I
me
feel
ask you this.
strongly about.
Do you happen to have a website and I could just do a share screen?
Yeah, it's Travis for Indiana 48 .com.
The number four?
Yeah, or oh shoot, now I've got me thinking. I haven't been on in a second.
And I can also put it in the link in the comment section.
Okay, yeah, it's spelled out Travis for Indiana 48.com. And it'll take you to the Green Party site. because that's where they put me up at.
Okay, so let's see. Oh, there we go. So let me just do my share screen. First of all, let me put this in the so that the people at home can visit. I'll put it there first. And there's the website. So everybody please visit it. Okay, there we are.
And then so that's a little bit about me.
Oh, you missing something major. I'm gonna come back to that here in a second. I'm glad I'm so glad you talked about this one. Focus on neighborhoods and not corporate data centers.
Yes.
If I hear one more data center coming to our state, I'm gonna scream. It is unnecessary to have. I'm not even sure we need a data center, but I was reading some statistic that says Indiana leads the nation in data centers. And it seems like they're just popping up everywhere. And I'm like, how is this happening? Like, what is it that they need that's just so um you said they're creeping into Elkhart County. They're on the rampant in Marion County. There's at least four of them that are going to be coming up here within the next couple of weeks.
Right.
So you guys are at the beginning, we're all at the end. So I want to go down to um something here. Oh, the affordable child care in pre-K. I did not realize that the state never budgets for pre-K. Just thought that was just included. I'm like, oh well, preschool and kindergarten through 12th grade, and you you just you just pay for it.
Because the current legislation has it in there, and me and Linda Rogers get into it a lot about this. She just lost her primary, so she's on her way out, but sadly might be replaced by someone more extreme. She refuses to call it an education system. She calls it schooling corporations because she has an inner idea that our education should be corporatized and privatized to the fullest extent.
No, that's a bad idea.
Yeah, I
Bad
100%
idea.
disagree. We'd get into it big time because I'd point out that the voucher programs, private schools. So first off, Indiana State Constitution, Article 1, Section 6 says that all state treasury funds shall not be allocated towards religious or theological institutions. 85.9%, I think it was, of private schools in Indiana are filed as religious institutions, thereby making it unconstitutional by state constitution to give them our funds. Those schools make up about 23% of all of the schools within the state. They are getting 35% of the education budgeting.
And guess who's not getting it?
The public schools.
There you go. Bing, boom, bam. There you go. I mean, it's so ridiculous to me that our state is so against, because I live in Indianapolis. I got to go for this. It's the largest school system in the state, IPS. That's where the majority of their children go. Why not? I don't know, give them more money to build better schools. You're taxing us out the wazoo, but yet there are some schools, because they have black people in them, they don't get as much. Their properties, if you're in a neighborhood where there's apartment buildings and people are renting, you can't collect property taxes on those.
Right.
because they're not homeowners. And using property taxes, it comes from people like me. Like what I pay in property taxes goes to fund schools. Is
Yeah.
there a school anywhere near me? I think there's one, and it's a couple of miles away from me. But I don't know, and you're the one running for office, not me. I don't know what alternatives can be used to fund schools.
Um, that comes from the property tax. It also can come from other various small taxes around your municipality. Um, it's really just a matter of how things are drawn or written up, because you can write what those taxes are going to go to. Generally, it is the property tax. That's the main one that everyone thinks of. But like states like Colorado and Washington, when they legalized cannabis, they wrote in that portions of the cannabis tax goes to the education, a portion goes to the roads, a portion goes to all these various things. So that money was allocated to those. It couldn't be messed with to an extent.
Now, remember, you're talking about Indiana, where our governor said he would absolutely not sign any legislation that would legalize the sale of cannabis.
He has recently opened up to the idea of medical, which is how most of them started.
Well, that's
But it's because
um
he's under fire and he knows it. He's trying to save himself.
I he's not winning re-election.
No,
There's no way. There's no way, no possible way. I'm like, fool me once, shame on you, but fool me twice, shame on me. I just don't think Hoosiers are gonna make that mistake twice. They could, because hey,
they
Donald
did for
Trump got
Holcomb.
elected twice. So, well, anything could happen. Um, but I think what I want to talk about is I want to go back to this housing issue. And 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 again, I hate to do this because I don't live in Elkhart County, and I probably need to get out more because I'm so focused on my city that I don't think about other cities in the state. What remedies would you support? Well, let me backtrack this. So, the governor signed a bill that essentially makes homelessness illegal in Indiana.
Essentially, yeah.
There was there was no plan to build homes for homeless people, rehab, like strip malls to make homes for homeless people, but essentially it's illegal. What type of remedies would you propose in addressing that?
So, I would definitely look at those bigger buildings that are now vacant and renovating them into affordable housing. I'd also work to increase the low income housing tax credits for both federal and state levels to incentivize development. Streamline zoning regulations, reforming the local zoning to allow more multifamily and mixed use and accessory dwelling units. Uh, Pass zoning preemption laws, prevent localities from banning multifamily homes. So actually work to make it law so governors and stuff can't ban the ideas to expanding these housings. So what Braun did, if I get it passed, would be illegal for him to do that, and those would be reopened for discussion.
Okay, so
Incentivize local reform, local government
mhm.
encouragement, utilizing state land that's vacant.
Here's my only concern about what you just said. There's a real big piece that I think is missing, that I actually think is the building block of building strong neighborhoods, and that's single family homes. Because when I hear people talk about it, they talk about the multi units, the multifamily, but I'm like, well, okay, but what about single family homes?
So
And again,
those are
bear me
mostly
with
hoarded by private equity firms and real estate agencies. So we have actually right now we have a decent supply of single family homes that are just being hoarded, and I do have adjustments to pry those from the grips of these private equity firms and actually get them back to the people. So we wouldn't have to build them because they're already there. We would just have to reacquire them back from these private equity firms.
right, because yeah, I don't know if you're a homeowner or not, but if I get one more, sell your home. I'm like, for what? I don't want to sell it. Uh, of course, I think the government's going to take my home because I live right in a high traffic area, but that's a whole different discussion. Um, yeah, I didn't hear you say single family homes. So I thought, oh, he's talking about a duplex or he's talking about an apartment or he's talking about senior living, but I just didn't hear single family homes. And so when I don't hear single family homes, I'm
Right.
like, well, that's the building block, but you're right. They are consumed. And you would think, maybe I don't know Indiana politics as well as I think I do. You would think that the legislators would be open to making a law that bans private equity firms from owning residential homes or imposing a penalty on them, right? Like if you just let it sit there, okay, you can let it sit there all you want, but you're going to pay this much if you let that property sit there and it's not lived in. Oh, and make it affordable.
Right. And see, I'm for that because they're not donating to me. I don't care what they say. I'm not taking their money.
Right. Exactly. Um, that is what you're missing on your page. I'm glad you talked about donate. I don't see any button to donate to your campaign.
Because until I make ballot, the way I see it is I don't want people donating money if I'm not officially an option yet. So that's going to go up after I make ballot. I don't want people to feel like they're
Oh,
wasting their money.
okay, understand. That's a very good point. Um, what does the future hold? Well, let me backtrack this. You have three issues that you wanted to run on, but what issues are the people in your district talking about?
It would be those issues specifically. We have a lot of parents working so many hours, so many jobs to try and afford to keep the lights on and get food in the house that they can't even afford childcare. We are the fourth least affordable state for childcare in the nation. Um, that's a shame. A lot of people, if they do childcare, they have to work twice as many hours because it's almost a full paycheck a week going to the childcare. So that's a
Yep,
major issue here. The housing as well. A lot of people are, but it's massive RV industry, so it is common to just have them anyways. But more people are looking into living in RVs, or they're looking to take on roommates, even though they don't want roommates, but they're economically forced to do it. So these are major issues.
and I'm going to ask a stupid question that I know the answer to this question, but when you're talking to someone that has completely lost faith in the system, and they're like, I'm just not going to vote, or I'm not going to sign the petition because you're just like you're just like the Democrats, and I'll say the Demo. No, I'll say because you're in the Republican area. Well, let me backtrack this. They aren't willing to sign your petition because they're like, well, you're just like the other ones. You'll say anything to get into office. You'll promise one thing and either you won't do anything or you'll do the opposite of what you said you were going to do. What is it that you say to that person?
I just talk to them and I keep it as nonpartisan as possible. I just mention the issues. I mention why I'm passionate about these issues and relate to them on an actual fellow Hoosier level. They're like, oh, he's going through what I'm going through. He knows what I'm going through. He'll actually be the one to do something about it. I point out again that I haven't taken any donations. I'm not asking anyone for donations because I don't think these elections should be paid for. They should be earned. And I deliver that through the way that I interact with people as well. That I'm not in it for money. I'm not in it for clout. I'm in it to make the life the best it can be for my daughters, for your daughters, for the next generation who the future is supposed to be for.
Exactly. And I think that's such an important factor because it just is. I mean, we all have children in our lives that we care about and we want to see them do well, but the system isn't set up for us to succeed.
Right.
And it's just not. You have a president that says he doesn't care. that inflation is high. You have a governor that kisses up to everything he says. You have a lieutenant governor that, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, dude, what's wrong with you? It seems so hopeless. I think that's the point, and I'm getting it. It seems hopeless because there's no level of government that seems to be working.
Right.
What is it that you believe that you can do to kind of change that?
Um, I hate to say this because I really, really don't like the man, but I'm gonna basically have to be the Trump for us. I'm gonna have to go in there, not caring what they think, not caring what I say, just getting the point across. Like, hey, y'all are messing up. We are getting tired of it. This is what we finna start doing. And then as the people, because that's generally how the people are feeling as well. They want to yell that to every representative we have. They want to yell it to every senator. They want to yell it to our governor. They just get ignored. So if they see me get in there and actually start speaking what they are feeling, that builds the support. It increases the amount of pressure on the other legislatures, and that's how a movement gets started to make changes.
And I've always said that alternative candidates really need to look at what Trump does well.
Right.
We don't have to like him. Nobody likes him. I don't even think his wife likes him. I mean, shut up, Tracy. But what I'm saying is he knows how to talk to common people. He doesn't use big words like nuclear proliferation. You will never hear him talk about the military industrial complex. You will never hear him. He won't say those things because he knows his audience. And I wish that third party candidates would like actually think about you don't have to be evil like he is, but you just said it. Come in there. It's like, I don't care. I can be in here one term, but I'm gonna make it worth something. I don't
Be
care what
firm
you
but not
think. I don't take
aggressive.
your money. See, now I believe in being aggressive.
But aggressively firm, but not like aggressively hurtful.
Well, no, you don't have to be hurtful,
Yeah.
but I do believe in being aggressive because I'm like, no, you're not about to run over me. No, I'm not going to concede. No, I mean, there are issues that I have. I will not concede on them, period. I
Right.
don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. If you're not for these five, I'm not conceding them. I minimum wage, that's one. That's one I'm willing to concede on. If you say Indiana's minimum wage is I think it should be 27. If you say 20, it's not 27, but it's way better than 7.25.
Right.
So as long as you're moving towards that, but something like Medicare for all, absolutely not. I won't move on it. Nope, we need single payer health care.
Right.
And we need to lower the eligibility so that more Hoosiers can get on Medicaid.
Right.
More Hoosiers need to be eligible for Medicaid than right now.
Right.
Because the income level, I think it's for a two-person. No, wait a minute. Let me make sure I'm getting this right because I'm gonna look this number up before I say it.
'Cause I'm fine with, even if, again, if they want to take it in steps, okay, expand it to children of a certain age. See how that goes for a little bit. Then Medicare for teenagers and children and the elderly. Then in the next 5 years or so, now you include the next group, and before 20 years, everybody's covered.
Yep. And I was like, wait a minute. Hold on, get a second, guys, because I want to see how ridiculous this income is. It's like, wait a minute, this is so ridiculous. So I was wondering, when I was searching for a job, I'm like, well, how much do you have to make one person? One person in Indiana can, from 19 years old to 64 years old, cannot make more than $18,036. Are you kidding me? What does that buy?
That is about, I want to say 9.50 an hour on a 40
That is
hour a week job.
950. Most apartments, when I was debating on whether I should go house or go to a two-bedroom apartment, apartments ended up being like $1,500 a month. So let's just say I move, this is just one person. I move into a $1,500 a month apartment, minus utilities, minus food. and don't let me be on medications. My whole check, I have to have two jobs now. That's such a joke. $1,836. That needs to be double that for one person, and then double it for two and three and four and five and six and seven. It just needs to be higher than 1836.
Right.
That's just ridiculous.
No, I get it, and like I said, I'm because I've been homeless and I've been through addiction. I'm 9 years, May 19th, 9 years clean and out of homelessness and addiction. So every one of these issues I've personally lived, I've personally experienced, and I know the personal pain and trauma that comes with them, as well as what it takes to pull people out. And that's where, when I explain that to people, they respect my openness, they respect my honesty, and they respect the fact that I'm actually talking about what I know. And that's where these other politicians, they've never felt the struggle. They've never gone through the slums, never, none of that. The most of them were born in or came to money rather quickly and then forgot where they came from. I'm never going to forget that. That is my life. And that's what I know so many Americans, let alone Hoosiers, are feeling and they need help with.
Exactly. And oh, I just lost your sight. I just had it because I have one more question. Do, 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 do.
Oh, my phone is about
Nope,
to
we're not.
die.
Yeah, I just like I'm gonna do it this
I
way.
just looked.
I'm like, wait a minute. I can't get it, but I know the question I want to ask, so I'll just ask it. So when you're out canvassing, here's what I'm just gonna give you a fake scenario and we'll do it like this. So my question is, I've already asked how do you talk to people that are weary of your campaign? I'm going to assume that the Democrats and Republicans have already made their nominations for the same office that you're running for.
Yes, the incumbent Mike Braun is going on the Republican side. The Democrats' primary, the victor was Emily Yaw, who we are a little confused how she made the ballot because she was on the Democratic ballot when she voted Republican the last four primaries.
Wait a minute, say that again.
Yeah, but we had the same reaction. So, Emily Yaw, the candidate for the Democrats who won the primary, we don't know how she got on the Democratic ballot when she voted Republican the last four primaries.
Okay, yeah, I wait a minute. I'm sorry, I gotta look this up because this is
Oh,
making
I
no
died.
sense to me. I
Yeah.
wait a minute. The Indiana Democratic Indiana House of Representatives District 48. The district covers parts of Elkhart County. C secured the Democrat. Okay, so here comes my question because I could spend all day worrying about that because I'm like, huh, what? That don't make no sense. But um, have you heard this one? So have you heard that you running as an independent candidate takes away votes that would have normally gone to this Emily Yaw person or the Republican candidate? Oh, I think we might have lost them. Yep, we lost them, y'all. We lost them. Cause I'm wondering, I'm sitting here wondering how in the world could she run as a Democrat and she voted Republican? Y'all just let anybody run. Um, Look at this. He's a orthotic surgery provider at Beacon Health System. She's a local resident. Uh. No, I'm trying to see. Oh, his phone died. Okay. So we're gonna have to. So what we'll do is we'll of course end Travis's phone portion because he was using his phone. Um she oh thank you, Theus. She switched parties to win. That's allowed? Yes, I've been so third party. I thought, well, if you done this, well, yeah, I guess you could. But dang. Um Well, guys, I wouldn't expect to end this early. However, I do want to take a couple of minutes here now that I got you guys alone, um, to talk about the next couple of weeks. We are jam-packed with interviews. Um, we have one, let's see, we have one coming up next week. Let me see who's on here next week. So we've got, let's see, we've got next week is going to be, what is his name? Jonathan Makeley, who is running for governor of New York, is going to be joining us next week. Then after, not next week, I'm sorry. Um, yes, next week, the 25th. Then we have on the 9th, we have, let's see, July the 9th. We got somebody coming. Travis Gearhart is coming on the 9th. I think I got somebody coming on the 16th. And then I got somebody else coming um the 23rd of July. So we are jam packed for the next couple of weeks. And oh, he apologized for interrupting, but he appreciated the opportunity and would love to do it again sometime. Well, just let him know we still got um we definitely got space, but not in July. July is taken. Well, no, I may have one space in July. But we've got jam-packed interviews coming up. We also have a candidate from West Virginia. We also have, like I said, someone coming in from New York, someone running for governor in Florida. So it's going to be really, really, really jam packed in the next couple of weeks in terms of the interviews I do. Um, Again, I'm at 424 in terms of my subscription. So that means I need you all to spread the word about this channel. Um, Share this podcast, put it in your Facebook post, put it in your threads, your Twitter, your, I was going to say Instacart, Instagram. Just share it wherever you can. Um, Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe, like, share, comment, subscribe. That way we can meet our goal of 500 subscribers. We are so very, very close to that 500. We are so close to it. Like we are just right there, just like right at the crust of 500. And then once we get to 500, we can talk about six. And then once we get to six, we can talk about seven. Once we get to seven, we can talk about eight. Once we get to eight, we can talk about nine, and then nine to 1,000. And then 1,000, we hit the roof and we just go. So just remember to like, share, comment, subscribe. And also, lastly, remember to join me this Saturday. I'm bringing an old topic back, but I've got more thoughts on the most terrible shows ever, and I mean ever. Of course, the Saturday show comes on at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, we're gonna hit some links here, and then I'm gonna call it a day. So we're going to hit that subscribe button. Again, I'm at 424, so I would greatly appreciate it. Support me on Patreon. I cannot emphasize enough of how much support I need on Patreon. I have 0 Patreons right now. I would love to get that up to at least 3 so that I could use that $6 a month to save up to get the desk that I want and the microphone that I want and the backdrop, which is good, but I want a better backdrop. Um, then finally, contribute to the First Baptist Church North Drama Camp. There is the link. Please, please, please support. We are trying to send children, trying to put on a drama camp for children that will end in a performance. We're trying to raise $3,500. Your 1, 2, 10, 5, $3,500 contribution is greatly appreciated. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye bye.